I'm branching out on YouTube. I'm now doing review videos. That said, it's going to be an autistic review video because I'm not branching out that much. We're starting with fidget cubes. Fidget cubes. I started out by going, oh, I'm not paying that much money for a fidget cube when I've done alright so far just picking up pieces of ribbon. So yes, 99p from eBay. It's much smaller, is the first thing you'll notice, and it's just not as well made. The thing that most annoys me about this one, having now bought this one, is that the plastic is not tactile. There's this one side, this one, which is supposed to be touchy-feely, and this material is just not nice. It's just, no. What's the point? What is the point in having a touchy-feely side if it's not touchy-feely? I still don't think this is probably worth all of the money when I like bits of ribbon so much, but I did get it in the Easter sale, so maybe they'll do more sales, so look out for sales. Thing 2, Odd Girl Out by Laura James, who is a British journalist who was diagnosed with autism in like her 40s. This is immediately interesting to me because adult woman diagnosis. Hi! This book is very specifically about one person's story, but I would recommend it particularly to people, to neurotypical people who have an autistic person in their lives, because it illustrates one way in which someone's thinking can just be different. I would also recommend it to newly diagnosed autistic people. It's got quite a lot of her adjusting from the mindset of how do I make myself better to how do I make the environment around me better to allow me to be happy. Buy a fidget cube, that's part of it. Buy a fidget cube and have it on your desk and be comfortable with it being on your desk while everyone is walking in. Pertinent quote. Whenever I tell anyone about my autism, the response is always the same. They're surprised. They can't quite believe it. I seem too much like them and too little like the stereotypical view of autism they know. I'm not what they expect. I'm not what I expect either, and still, a year on from my diagnosis, I'm fighting to live a neurotypical life. Where did it get me? Nowhere I wanted to be. I need to stop trying to be less autistic and start creating an environment in which I can thrive in my autism. As soon as it comes to me, it seems so obvious. I have to embrace my autism. I have to accept that there are things about me I will never be able to change. I have to stop imagining the other life that I believed was out there waiting for me. You know. And this brings me to the other thing that has been sitting on my desk for the last week, which is this book, which is called Neurotribes, The Legacy of Autism and How to Think Smarter About People Who Think Differently. Everyone who saw this lying on my desk at work went, "You're reading that for fun? It looks really long and it has small fonts." I wouldn't say it's difficult to read. I would say it's emotionally tough sometimes, because if you go through the history of autism, you have to start in 1930s Austria, and we all know where that's going for disabled people. It's tough reading, and I feel that that deserves a warning. But this is a really, really well-written book. Thank you, Steve Silverman. He structures it by following either an individual or, less frequently, a group of people, a community, and takes you through the history that way, which makes it easy to follow and also makes it so, you know, you can pop it down at a chapter and then pick it up a few days later and continue with the next person's journey. And yet it all comes together. And I could write a really long Tumblr post about the choice of tribes rather than community. I also found this interesting just from a point of view of the medical terminology. It's kind of my day job, but the way the diagnosis has changed and the labels that were applied have altered, and for various reasons, because they thought it was a more accurate description or for PR reasons. That's fascinating. I can't recommend this book enough as a guide to autism, as its own subject. This book just does such a good job of giving credit to people for the contributions they've made throughout history. That's just such a good thing. He goes and finds the people who have helped and he highlights them. I love that. And we're going to end by saying that if you're in the UK and you are or will be 18 or over on June the 8th, I hope you've registered to vote. You still have time to do that, and I hope you're not going to vote Tory. I mean, they're going to win. I'm pretty sure they're going to win, but Tories' attitudes to people with disabilities of any type is just... I leave it to you what else you might vote, but that's my request. Don't vote Tory. Alrighty, I'll see you next time and have a happy day.